Now, this all started with a message from one of my viewers. Hi Ayo, I really enjoy your content. I recommend you look into co-ownership. I've done it and I truly believe it's the best way for our community to get into real estate without leaving the areas/municipalities that we prefer. Now, I've been thinking about setting up a program to help connect people interested in co-ownership for a while, but it's messages and comments like these that get me to speed things up and deliver even more value to you. Speaking of value, at the end of this video, I'll show you how to get registered for my co-ownership program. Now, I'm privileged to speak with clients earning $100,000 and above with amazing savings, but still can't afford to buy a home alone. And most people will tell them to just work harder to earn more money, but with the CRA waiting for them at the end of each year, and inflation that is really not anybody's mate, I decided to put this resource together to show you how people in the community have made their way into the housing market in a shorter period of time and without working their fingers to the bone. AKA one blow, seven die. It's much better to use what you have now, which is the one blow side of things, to set yourself up for what you want tomorrow, which is the seven die part of things, rather than saving up and saving up and saving up and waiting for the market to crash. Side note, when the market crashes, your affordability also crashes. Click here or here to understand why. Now, before we go on, please don't forget to subscribe. This is one of the only ways for me to know that these videos are actually helping, apart from the people that have reached out and worked with me. Thank you very much. And if you're feeling generous, leave a comment, share with your friends, like, subscribe. You know how it goes. Remember, watching and leaving is good, but engaging through a like, comment, share, and subscribe, just like my viewer here, means that I can bring more content that is valuable and specific to the needs of the community. Okay? Let's go. Now, co-ownership is best explained with a true story. Names and figures have been changed for privacy reasons, of course. Ayo wants to buy a house. He earns about $100K a year, and he has been able to save up a deposit of about $50K. He reaches out to his mortgage broker to find out how much a bank will be willing to lend him. Now, with today's high interest rates, Ayo is only able to qualify for a mortgage of $350K. This won't be enough to buy a home in Ontario, unfortunately. Ayo now has three options. Number one, get a job that pays more, aka double your hustle, save up even more money, aka double your hustle again, or find a partner to buy a home with, aka divide and conquer. The problem is Ayo just got a job that pays more. Secondly, with inflation going crazy, he can't save any more money. And finally, he really wants to do this co-ownership thing, but he only knows enough to get himself in trouble. So he reached out to me for an explanation, and here's how I broke things down. So we have three stages of this co-ownership process. Number one, before you buy the home, let's call this the pre-purchase period or PPP. Number two, during the ownership of the home, let's call this the ownership period. And number three, after you sell the home, we'll call this the after sales period. Now let's do a deeper dive into these periods just to see how co-ownership can work for Ayo. Number one, the pre-purchase period. The main issue at this stage is that everyone involved doesn't have enough financial firepower or doesn't want to commit too much money to buying a home. Co-ownership solves this problem in three ways, starting with mortgage qualification. Remember, Ayo can qualify for a mortgage of only $350K, but if Ayo partners with another person, say Feyi, who also qualifies for the same amount of a mortgage loan, they can combine these monies together and both qualify for a total mortgage of $700,000. Next is down payment contribution. If Ayo and Feyi decide to buy that $700,000 house, they can both contribute towards a 10% down payment. For example, 10% of $700K is $70K, and each person simply needs to contribute $35K to be good to go. In addition, closing costs, which are usually 1.5% of the value of the home, are split. 1.5% of $700K is $10,500. Please check my math. Each person simply needs to contribute a further $5,250 to be good to go on that front as well. All in, one partner's total contribution will be $40,250 instead of $80,500 if they were to go at it individually. And finally, risk mitigation. Say Ayo and Feyi had personal savings of $50K each or $100K in total, and because they went into a partnership, they only had to contribute $80,500 out of that $100K towards purchasing their $700K home. Now, if anything happens and they need more money to close on that transaction, they still have $19,500 to pool and put towards issues that may arise. These issues may or may not come up, but an arrangement like this keeps everyone prepared. Now that we understand how things will generally work out before you buy the home, let's take a look at how co-ownership works once you buy the home, or number 2, the ownership period. 3 things to consider as well. First thing is accommodation. Co-ownership doesn't always have to be for investment purposes alone. Partners can buy a home, for example, each having separate entrances leading to their own private living spaces, so each owner has privacy. This can be done if all or one person needs a place to stay and is tired of paying rent. On a side note, I'm not sure if this is still going on, but there's a builder I know in a major city with an amazing promo. Buy 2 brand new homes and get an extra home for free. Each 3-bed, 2.5 bath home costs about $530,000. Buying 2 of these homes will require a down payment of about $200,000. If 3 people could come together to purchase 2 of these homes, each person will get 1 home to themselves. It's $200,000 divided by 3 is $65,000. Think about it. It might make sense for you. Let me know. Now moving on to number 2, split mortgage and bill payments. Whatever you're paying in mortgage and bills gets split among the owners, so no one person is carrying all of that load. And if 1 or more co-owners are living in the home, it's definitely going to be more affordable than paying rent these days. If this is a purely investment property, you will either have a tenant paying most or all of this amount through rent, leaving owners with a small or no monthly payment to make. Again, there's a builder in a major city selling brand new homes that practically fund themselves. They have an upper level and a lower level with separate entrances that can be rented out individually to boost earning potential. But I digress. Let's focus on number 3, beating inflation and rising home prices. Most people in the community get into co-ownership for this one reason alone, because it's difficult to save up enough money or work enough hours to beat the pace at which inflation and interest rates are reducing the value of money. For example, the more home prices go up, the more you have to spend to buy a home, making the same $50,000 savings of last year worth a lot less today. Now, instead of holding on to the $50,000, people in the community use that money to buy a part of the very thing that is rising in price, aka a part of a house as a co-owner. This way, their money can keep holding value regardless of where the house prices get to, till they are ready to use it to get a place of their own. Now that we understand how co-ownership works while you own the home, let's finally take a look at the last part of the co-ownership journey, which is the after-sales period. Now, Ayo and Faye bought this house for $700,000 in this current market, and because interest rates are high, home prices are forced to come down. Translation, Ayo and Faye got the home at an amazing price, and because they are co-owners, no one person is handling the high interest rate costs alone. Ayo and Faye then decide to wait for a period when interest rates are low, because typically home prices go up, especially in Canada, by a very large amount because of the chronic housing shortage the country has been facing for decades now. Now, because of this shortage, the home that Ayo and Faye bought for $700,000 will conservatively sell for $850,000 when interest rates come down. With this in mind, let's keep things simple. Ayo and Faye have 2 choices to make. Number 1, sell the home. Each person walks away with about $110,000 to themselves, which they can then use to purchase a home of their liking. This means that in addition to the $40,250 they used to buy the home, each person walks away with almost $70,000 of additional funds. And I'll leave it to you to work out how long it will have taken each person to save $70,000 on a $100,000 salary with a CRA waiting for them at the end of each year. Let's not forget about inflation as well. Now, the second choice they have is to refinance, and in simple terms, they don't sell the home that they bought together, but they take out a loan on that home, which they can use to purchase another home. This way, they can continue building their real estate portfolio together and keep on doing this until they decide to cash out and go their separate ways. Now, I know it's a lot to digest, but if you're interested in becoming a co-owner, sign up for the co-ownership program using the link in the description box below. Once you're registered, I'm going to start getting you prepared for the amazing journey ahead. I'm going to break down the specific steps that I will take to guide you and your fellow co-owners from the pre-purchase period to the after sales period. Now, you don't need to be in a group. You can come as you are, and we'll take things one step at a time. Okay? Take care. See you in the next one, guys, and bye-bye.